Hey guys, I'm back for another video, and today I'm going to talk about Hytale again. And this is a very specific video that's catered mostly to developers, but oh my goodness, is this something I hope the game implements. This is my #1 feature request for Hytale, by the way. If anybody asks me, what is the thing that you hope Hytale does most, it's going to be this video. So let's get started. I hope that Hytale updates don't break everything. So one concern of mine regarding Hytale with post-release updates is that if somebody makes a contraption like a mob farm or programs a mod or a plugin or a script and then the update comes out, that all of a sudden that thing they made is broken. This is a big problem with basically all software. These problems exist in like every game. For example, I have Beat Saber. I've been playing it forever, and I would have, say, a mod installed that lets me play custom songs. It's awesome. It lets you play freaking Super Mario Bros. Music and slice it notes with a lightsaber, and it's insane. But then when an update for Beat Saber comes out, the mod breaks, and then my game doesn't work anymore. I try to click a button, nothing happens, and it's a really big shame. And then either I have to just not play the game, or have to uninstall the mods, or just wait for an update to come out for the mod to deal with the update. Same goes for Minecraft. So if I were to program, for example, a plugin like Ultimate Chops, then I have an item displaying on top of a slab. I take advantage of some feature to make it so that when someone clicks a button or whatever, it updates the inventory so that they don't pick up the item. And then an update comes out, for example 1.14, and the thing that I used no longer exists. So when somebody tries to open a shop, nothing happens. So my perfectly programmed plugin that was doing great not too long ago, all of a sudden is a buggy, broken mess, just because I changed which version of Spigot I imported in the project. So that's a big concern of mine. But before we get into, I guess, the development aspect, let's get to the thing that's more relatable, which is the in-game farms, in-game contraptions that people have made over the years that have been broken. So I mean, Minecraft's had a rocky past with these sort of things. Countless farms and designs for things have come and gone over the years. So sand duplicators with pistons, those didn't last all that long. Well, actually they did last pretty long. Ever since, I think, Alpha, and then they lasted all the way up until like 1.8 or something like that. But then they got broken, which, you know, that's fair because that's an exploit, but still, it was kind of sad to see that go. End portals were the same way. So you could use an end portal to duplicate sand and gravel and red sand and all that by sending the entity through the end portal while at the same time pulling it back so it duplicates. It's kind of cool. Again, patched. This is one of those situations where something that's not intended kind of becomes a feature of the game because the setup is so annoying that it almost like should just be in the game because it's like worth the effort. Anyway, yeah, so sand duplicators come and gone. Obsidian generators. These were fun. So, little known fact, back in the day, you used to be able to generate obsidian using lava and string. Yeah, interesting. That was awesome because, you know, getting obsidian in Skyblock was basically impossible. So, to use string and lava to make more obsidian, it would be awesome. You'd have blast-proof areas, you'd be able to make multiple nether portals, you'd be able to craft an enchanting table. Well, not really, because you still need diamonds, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of uses for it. But then it got taken out of the game. And I don't know if it was a bug or whatever, but how the hell does a bug turn string into obsidian? I don't know how that worked. I'm actually really curious. But anyway, that got broken, and that made a lot of people, including me, very sad. Squid farms. Those were broken recently too, a lot of them, because it would only make sense to put a pool of water in the middle of a desert, and it would make it so that that's the only spot where squids can spawn because there's no surrounding water, so all the squids will spawn right there. You can just have them fall from a drop and they drop their ink sacs and you just have a farm that generates stuff for you. Of course, that got broken because I think it was in 1.13 they made it so squids can only spawn in rivers. So many hours went into making that farm, and it's gone. A witch farm design that I made with Antoine in Survival Island. That was broken because it used a glitch where if you push mobs through a block, then they'll phase through it. Or if you push blocks from underneath a mob, they'll phase through it. That was used to make it so that witches would just fall through the floor to their death and you'd get their stuff. countless designs broken. There's redstone contraptions as well that are broken through updates. Like literally all redstone contraptions that are even slightly creative have been broken and changed throughout the updates. One of which being my classic cobblestone generator design with over like 1.2 million views on YouTube. And it's been used in countless Let's Plays and worlds, even from some very influential people. Like I had the go-to design for a cobblestone generator in Skyblock for years, and 1.13 broke it because they changed the way water works. Such a fundamental aspect of the game got changed like 10 years after the release of the game. Like, what the hell? And ultimately, this is what caused the death of Minecraft Survival Island, at least partially. Like, the update broke almost all of our farms, made the game laggier, the goals changed. Support for everything that we had up until that point had basically vanished because we're in an old version of the world. We started in like 1.6 or 1.7. It's been a long time since that Let's Play started, so like the world's very broken and laggy because updates over the years have just been whittling away at the integrity of that world, and it's frustrating. So as a developer, I absolutely despise updates for the reasons I said earlier, because a perfect work of art plugin can become a buggy mess in 2 seconds just because the spigot version's different. And the other thing is the obligation to update plugins constantly as a developer is really annoying because people expect you to do it, even though it's like you have a life and a job, and people rate the plugin bad because it's no longer compatible with the latest version. And it's led countless projects to just die over the years because let's say 8 years ago somebody made a plugin for Craft Bucket, and now Craft Bucket itself isn't even used anymore. Spigot's the thing that everyone's using, or paper, things like that. The project just died because the developer lived on with their life. They went and did other things, and the plugin's just sitting there unupdated and basically forgotten to time. So I guess my suggestion on this front is that I hope that Hytale somehow has some sort of backwards compatibility for old mods or plugins, or make like some ambiguous front-end code that could be used or referenced. So in the back end, a lot of code can change from like the developer's point of view for Hytale, but like what the mod developers see is the same across versions. So like, for example, get location. So you like get a world location. Maybe in the back end, the way it works is different, but still calling that function is the same from the perspective of the mod developer. Things like that would make things great. Just so that like, say people are going to make mods, you know, day one, month one of Hytale releasing. There's going to be all sorts of mods. They're going to be great. People are going to love them. But what does that mean 5 years from now? Will those plugins still exist? Will those mods still exist? Or will updates just break the code and then they'll just be forgotten to time? I can't tell you how many cool mods in Minecraft are just not updated anymore because people just abandon the project. There's the Aether project. There's localized weather and storms that adds tornadoes and picks up blocks and moves them everywhere. There's the airships mod, which is able to turn collections of blocks into flying ships, and that one hasn't updated in years. And it's a shame because they're really cool, but it just takes so much work to keep up with the latest version of the game for something that ultimately is not going to bring any money. It's just for fun. So I don't know. I think something needs to be done about that. So Hytale, my recommendation to you is to please find a way to not only support the developers of mods, but find a way to maintain backwards compatibility. So I would recommend, in order to do this, you be very careful what you add to the game feature-wise, because I think deprecated code should be minimalized, like greatly minimalized. If something is in the game right now and is available to mod developers, it should be available many years from now. And maybe there'll just be a recommendation. Maybe they'll say, hey, this will still work, but there's a better way to do it with our new thing. But you have to keep it. You have to make it still work, technically. It'll be sad to see a lot of mod developers start out really excited for this game, and then life catches up with them, and you know, they gotta go. They gotta leave the scene, and all these mod pack makers, all these Let's Players, all these just casual players that are having fun with the mods won't be able to use them anymore. So yeah, there you go. That's my number one suggestion for Hytale, is to maintain backwards compatibility for mods and for contraptions. That will be much tougher with the contraptions, but I guess just have a good idea of what your game mechanics are going to be at the start, so you don't have to change something very, very basic, like how water works. Like, what the heck? Minecraft, why are you changing how water works 10 years after the freaking release of the game? Anyway, leave a like down below if you guys enjoyed this video. It was a long one. People that don't know code probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but that's okay. This is meant for the developers of the game as well. I mean, it's probably entertaining to at least listen to. If you'd like to keep up with all things ThirtyVirus, or Hytale, you should follow me on Twitter. On there, I talk about all sorts of stuff, and there's memes. It's good. Well, anyway, that's it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.